This video I want to talk about this video that I saw on YouTube called WWE wrestlers that have died in the ring. Clicked on the video and there's a lot of views in the video, like over 3 million views, and it just basically showed like a montage of photographs of all these different wrestlers that have died through the years. And the thing is, when I was really young, maybe about 9 years old, I was watching wrestling, the Hulk Hogan age, and the time where there's like the Ultimate Warrior and the Andre the Giant and the Undertaker. Like when I was like really young, I was watching it. It was just like entertainment for me back then when I was young. I eventually grew out of that phase and I stopped watching. And the thing is, a lot of the people that are in this video that have passed away, sadly enough, a lot of them were during that time that I remember. And I'll leave the link to the video below and you can check it yourself. And a lot of these wrestlers died in their 40s. And a lot of it was because of like heart failure and like drug use. Mainly they would say like probably steroid use. Some of them were on cocaine, and some of it were accidents that happened in the ring. But a majority of all the deaths happened around the age of 40, in their 40s, and because of heart failure. And I think that's a common thing with people that are on steroids is they end up having heart complications and end up dying earlier than expected. And I think it's just an eye opener. Because I've been speaking a lot about the cage fighting, but obviously pro wrestling is extremely unhealthy and dangerous as well. But you would be surprised because when you look at these people's physiques, you'd be like, hey, these people look like very healthy. They look very strong and fit, and they look like they're representing health. But it's a lie. It's a deception. That's not truth, because they're all dying so young. To me, 40 is young. To me, especially with the technology that we got nowadays, with the medical science and everything, and I feel that people should live until about 100 or more. So if you die at the age of 40 due to heart failure, and then you compare that to somebody else who's lived to 100 or more, that's double the lifespan. And like, I've been speaking about the cage fighting, but it goes across all boards as far as cage fighting is concerned, boxing is concerned, football, and WrestleMania. These are all very, very dangerous sports. And that they're going to take steroids in boxing. They're going to take steroids in football. They're going to take steroids in pro wrestling. They're going to take steroids in MMA. And you see these people during their prime, they might look like they're strong, they might be strong, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're representing like true health. Just recently, another article was printed about this MMA fighter that died from cutting weight. He cut too much weight, and then he just dehydrated himself, and then he ended up dying. So you got people that are like super skinny because they cut so much weight, and then they die. And you got people that are on steroids through all these years and what it does to their heart and to their system, and then they die earlier. And you see what happens in football and boxing, where they keep getting all this brain trauma, these concussions. The damage, I heard, that from the brain just never heals. So you see a lot of these boxers, when they talk, their speech is like slurred. Because when you keep getting hit in the head and face so much, and your brain is just, jolting around, it's like a lot of internal damage. And you look at Muhammad Ali right now, his state of health is not good at all. And a lot of these boxers, a lot of these football players, and these fighters, and these wrestlers, they go through so much this type of abuse with their bodies that their bodies just can't take it anymore, and they give out. To me, age 40 is a young time, early time to die. You know, and the purpose of this video is just to basically illustrate the dangers associated with those types of sports. Those sports, and then WWE, which is that type of dangerous type of entertainment. And the contrast to that, the difference between wushu and like the Chinese martial arts expression is supposed to be like healthy, not just healthier, but healthy development, where you're not supposed to be getting concussions. You're not supposed to be taking steroids. You're not supposed to be cutting weight. You're not supposed to be competing. I mean, I don't even agree to these wushu practitioners competing in the forms competitions. To me, that's, it's unnecessary. But at the same time, it's almost like a gymnast competing in gymnastics, just doing their whole routine and getting judged and evaluated based on that. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have an unhealthy effect, but I feel that mentally and spiritually it does, because then your focus of training is not really about health and spirituality and meditation anymore. Now it's about winning and outdoing your opponent and pushing yourself essentially beyond your limitations, in which to essentially leads towards an early death. And even with Bruce Lee, I made a statement in the other video that I feel that he dehydrated himself and really put his health at risk in order to prove to the world in the movie Enter the Dragon that he's the number one, the best of the best. He wanted his body to look flawless, just like what the bodybuilders do. The bodybuilders dehydrate themselves to get their bodies to look flawless. So it's not just combat sport fighters that will do things to their bodies to pretty much risk their health in order to make more money or get more attention. There's people in a lot of different, aspects of the entertainment industry doing that, and all these things is stuff that I do not promote, that I disagree with. I feel that real wushu is about health, is about learning how to defend yourself in case somebody's trying to put you in danger. Then you defend yourself. But if nobody's putting your life at risk, then you're using the combat training, the wushu training, to better your health, to get stronger, to get faster, to get more flexible, to get more endurance, to take away stress, to ease your mind, to be in meditation, to relax, and also to express yourself as an artist, and that's what I feel like the contrast is, the difference between wushu and what I just stated as far as like pro wrestling is concerned, MMA, boxing, football. I mean, these are all just very dangerous things, I'm about longevity, living longer, eating healthy, so, I mean, you could click in the video yourself, I'll put the link below, and you just see these people, how they just die, And then another thing is, just don't get tricked by the eye, because these people look strong. They look like, hey, that they're going to live a very long time, but they're all dying at 40, in the 40s. And then there's other people that I know that are unfit. They're not even fit, they might be obese, they might be fat, and they're living until 60, or even longer. Even my grandpa just passed away recently. He lived in his 80s, and he was smoking every day. He was a smoker, and he still lived to his 80s. So it just shows you, like, hey, these people and what they're doing, they're really putting their lives at great risk by all the things that they're doing to their bodies. And it's sad to see that. I mean, I understand the mentality, hey, I'm going to do this to get money and fame. But like I stated in my other video, 99% of the people out there are not getting paid to wrestle. They're not getting paid to box. They're not getting paid to play football. They're not getting paid to practice MMA. A lot of these people are paying money to do the activity, and then they're putting their lives at risk for no pay. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, these people that you're seeing on the TV, these WrestleMania people, these cage fighters, these boxers like Mayweather, they're getting paid thousands, if not millions, to do what they do. Okay, that's understandable. You know, they don't mind dying 50 years earlier because they're gonna get all this money in return. It's kind of like live a fast life and burn out. You know, okay, that's what they want to do. But as for everybody else that's watching them, we gotta be more intelligent. Be like, you know, I'm not gonna do what they're doing. I'm not even getting paid for it. It's not worth it. You know, and once you see that, it's just like, you know what? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like, obviously, we don't want to work at like McDonald's for minimum wage. We want to get a job where we get paid a lot of money to essentially do nothing. You know, like there's some jobs out there you might get paid $100,000 to just sit at an office desk and you're just hanging out. But say somebody said, hey, you know what? I'll give you $10,000 a year if you just shovel snow every single day for 10 hours a day. You'll be like, are you crazy? You know, I'm getting paid $100,000 to just sit in this office, and you're trying to give me $10,000 a year to shovel snow every day for 10 hours a day? No. So that's essentially what I'm basically saying is that, like, hey, you know, if you're not getting paid to fight, then why are you putting yourself through all that, those risks? It's just not worth it. You know, it's just not. I think a lot of people get so sucked into this entertainment industry that they try to relive it through their own lives, not realizing that they are not getting paid to do any of this stuff. So the smart thing to do is, yeah, you could box. You could learn how to box, but it doesn't mean you should step into the ring and go full force with the person and just destroy each other, knock each other's brains out for no pay. You know, doesn't make sense. You know, you could practice MMA, learn the techniques, that's great, but it doesn't mean you should step in the cage and destroy yourself and destroy somebody else for no pay. You know, it just does not make sense. You know, you could play you could play football, tackle football with your friends, but it doesn't mean that, hey, you know, is it worth breaking your kneecap, getting broken ribs, you know, suffering like lifelong brain damage from a football game that you're not even getting paid for? You know, just think about it. You know, it's just, it's not intelligent. You know, so, you know, maybe this link to this video might open some people's eyes. Like, you know what, like, these athletes, they're not even representing health. True health is somebody who's very fit, but then he lives a very long, healthy life. You know, even Bruce Lee died at the age of 32. That's not representing health. Because if he was healthy, why is he having these problems as far as passing out and then having his brain get this allergic reaction? And then he even went to he even passed out and went to the hospital and almost died. Maybe about a month before he actually did die. And the doctor said, you gotta chill out, slow down. You know, don't eat these marijuana cookies because your body had an allergic reaction. You gotta just relax. But he didn't relax. He just kept doing what he wanted to do, and then he ended up dying early. You know, so I think when we get caught up in the fame and the money, it can make us do some crazy things. I mean, look what Lance Armstrong did for all that money and the fame. He just did some crazy things to his body to get, you know, to be number one in the cycling. You know, when it comes to money, when it comes to fame, people will do some crazy stuff, and that's nothing new. Okay, that is nothing new at all. I understand. Okay, you want to do this to get fame and money. Okay, but I'm telling you, 99% of the people out there are not getting paid to do this stuff. So just step back and think about it and be like, you know what? Why am I even doing this? Is it worth it? And a lot of times the answer is no, it's not worth it. You know, so then there needs to be an alternative way to train in martial arts in a healthier way that's going to help you live longer. Okay? to help you develop intelligence. Not to have slurred speech, but to have intelligence, to be more spiritual, to be more meditative, to contribute something positive to the society. And that is what I'm calling wushu, which is pretty much the direct opposite of what I stated, which is boxing, football, WrestleMania, and cage fighting. These are all grouped into a different category that is very, very dangerous and unhealthy. If you click on the link below, you'll see for yourself all these people dying. They look like they're all fit and stuff, but they're all dying at the age of 40, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's not healthy. What's really healthy are the people that are living to a very long age and enjoying life. Okay? So, wushu is going to be representing that. Alright? And my father, for example, 65, still healthy, living a long life. We'll see how long he lives. And then for myself, I want to represent wushu. We'll see how long I live. If I could live to 120, then boom, then it becomes some evidence on video to show that, hey, this guy lived to 120. He's still fit. He's still strong. He's still living a good life. And that's what we need to pretty much be guided by, is from people that are representing true health. And I'm telling you, a lot of these athletes are not representing that. The people in the Olympics, a lot of them might be on steroids. They're overdoing it. They're pushing themselves way too hard. Their bodies can't handle it. They die early. Football, cage fighting, WrestleMania, boxing. Okay, look at these people, how long they're living, and things of that nature. Alright, so that's all I gotta say.